Alrighty, so today we are going to be going over some of the best categories in Dokkan as of the 10th anniversary part 2. Just want to keep in mind that I'm not going to be able to cover literally every single good team in the game in this video, but I'm going to do my best to kind of cover a lot of categories here in some detail and talk about which ones I think are the best. Keep in mind, like I said, just a ton of teams in the game right now and a ton of different ways to run teams. What we're not going to be doing in this video in specific, there's going to be one category in this video. It's going to break the rules a little bit. The last category is one that I think is going to be very good very soon and has a lot of a really high ceiling, but we're only going to do one of those. I'm not going to cover that for the whole video. So lots of teams to go over, lots of teams to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into this. Maybe you're wondering what type of team should I build? I just pulled all these new anniversary LRs. What should I be doing? Let's go ahead and talk about that today. So if you do find a team that you like to run, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you are new, so that way you don't miss out on any informative Dokkan content like this. Let's go ahead and get into it. So the first team that I have here is the Earth Protecting Heroes squad. You guys knew this was going to be on the list here. Just an insanely good 10th anniversary edition here. If you look right here, how many do we have? It count it 1, 2, 3, 4 of the new 10th anniversary LRs. Added in Beast Gohan, who's basically a 10th anniversary LR with his quality better than this guy, right? So basically a 10th anniversary LR in terms of how good that character is. And then two characters that we're going to have to keep in mind coming up soon, more than likely are going to be EZAing. Well, three in this case is going to be Kaioken Goku, the LR Gods, and the LR4s. So this team already individually has a ton of firepower, a lot of really good units on it. And if we kind of look down a little bit down here, just some other options, right? Like Super EZA Gohan, I think this is a decent character, right? Looking at TURs, it is a little bit muddy, but Mr. Satan here, this is a really good character, right? Family Kamehameha Gohan is still solid. I wouldn't say he's the best, but he's solid. Tech Gogeta is solid as well. Very, very good options on this team. If we want to look down to the EZAs, we have Goten and Trunks here. We have physical Super Saiyan 3 Goku. This is still a decent character, right, with his EZA. In Super Saiyan 4, Gogeta is probably going to be EZAing this year. If I had to guess, he is over 4 years old now, so it is just a matter of time before he ends up getting his EZA. And if we continue to scroll down and go to the Super EZAs, we have characters like STR Gogeta down here. AGL Super Vegito is not specifically on the Earth Protecting Heroes team, but he can be used within the vacuum of this Goku's leader skill. Again, we are going to be covering individual categories, so that is why we're not talking about him just yet, but I at least have to mention him, right? So lots of good units on this team. I think that this is a solid addition to the game. Much better than the successors category, which we are not going to be talking about today. I don't think that team is anywhere near where it needs to be, but who knows, maybe in the future after some EZAs and some releases, we could be talking about that one a little bit differently. So Earth Protecting Heroes, that's going to be the first team I want to talk about today. Let's move on to the second one, and this is rare. I usually don't get to do this because of the leader skill, but in this rare case, I am pleased to say that Pure Saiyans is one of the best teams in the game right now. As you can see, we have 5 of 6 anniversary LRs here. We're gonna, jokes aside with Frieza, it's technically he can look good if you switch to Goku and stuff like that, but this is just a solid roster. Pure Saiyans is always going to be one of the best teams in the game, especially now that they have relevant leaders that are probably going to take us into at least 2026 in terms of power creep, so that is always a good sign when you have team setups like that that are potentially going to work. So this one has Gogeta, it has Super Saiyan 4 Goku, we have Tech Vegito, we have Evolution Blue, we have the Brolys, we have Tech UI Goku, we have AGL Broly, right? All the EZAs that I mentioned here on top of Tech Grade 8 Vegeta, right? STR Vegito, Tech Gogeta, the 6 years, Namek Goku, Angel Vegeta, very good character. The Tech Broly EZA, this is a very high quality EZA as well, right? Daima Goku is fitting under this lead, right? Heroes Limit Breaker Goku here, whatever, Universal Tree Goku, whatever you want to call him. He is technically on this team. We have AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku. He works very well, right? God Goku in emergency situations can potentially work. Some of the EZAs that we talked about earlier, where we have Super Saiyan 3 Goku down here. Someone that's probably borderline going to get an EZA very soon is probably going to be this Exchange Goku and Gohan. This could potentially be somebody who's going to work very well with the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan LR that we had. The GT Golden Week characters are going to be EZAing at some point probably this year. The Super Saiyan 2 EZAs right here, quality characters, right? Just a high amount of quality options. We go down to the Super EZAs, things are a little bit tricky right now, but the second anniversary Super Saiyan 4s are probably going to get a Super EZA at some point as well, so this is going to be a very nice spot for them. So Pure Saiyans, very good team. Let's go ahead and move on. Now, moving on, we have a repeat offender here. Lots of very good category, or characters on this category, excuse me, and a lot of repeat offenders, right? This is going to be the similar case for a lot of these units on the list, but right now, I'm just basing this off of who are the best characters in the game, right? A lot of them are Super Saiyans for the time being. So, looking at this, we have the Super Saiyan trio. I'd say they're like borderline fringe top 10, top 15. If you want to put them at 10, that's about as high as I'd probably go personally, but if you want to put them up at 8 or 9, I'm not like, oh my god. I really like the support that they provide, and they also have a very nice leader skill that includes the 10-year anniversary LR, Gogeta, and Vegito characters, so that is also very helpful. The OG trio here, a pure 200, I wouldn't really recommend running them in difficult content right now, but technically you can. The same thing can be said about this tech Vegeta, Namek Goku, but you're just better off running, again, the Vegito lead more than likely in most cases. So, Gogeta, Vegito, Family Kamehameha, right? Broly. We got the Super Saiyan trio right here. We already talked about them. Tech Gogeta, Namek Goku, STR Vegito. This Broly right here. We continue to go down, right? Daima Goku is on this category. This is a very underrated unit, and I feel like teams that have access to Daima Goku, you're just going to notice how much smoother teams can run with this guy around, right? The support that he is giving, it's just very, very nice. So, Daima Goku being an available option for you. We kind of go down to the Super Easy A's, right? Vegito, Gogeta, both going to fit under Super Saiyans. I don't know why I can't find a Vegito. Vegito, where art thou? Vegito, where are you? Where is Vegito? Am I blind? Gogeta, yeah, there he is. I don't know why I couldn't see him. He's right here. So, Vegito being able to be ran on this team, right? Lots of high potential, but again, I feel like most of the time you would probably be relegated to running the Super Saiyan version, or the Pure Saiyan version of this team, excuse me, under the Earth Protecting Heroes team, because it's just going to give you access to characters like Beast Gohan, UI Goku, and stuff like that. Just gives you a little bit more variety, but again, if you want to run a pure Super Saiyans team, maybe you're somebody that has this guy, but you can't fully run their leader skill for some reason, Super Saiyans is always a nice alternative. So just want to at least give this team some love here. I think that there are better options, but this is a very good roster right now, full of some of the best characters in the game. So let's move on to a team that it's kind of surprising to say these guys just aren't the best in the game right now. And that is going to be the Beast Gohan led team, but mainly superheroes. Still a very good team, right? Lots of really good options for in terms of characters. You have Beast Gohan, who's obviously still like a top 4 unit in the game. Tech UI Goku is decent. I'd say he's around like the top 13 to 15 right now. Just way too fraudulent in the base form, in my opinion, and sells way too much. But that domain is very valuable, and unfortunately, you don't spend the whole fight in the domain, so I have to at least knock off some points for that. STR Evolution Blue Vegeta, still a very good character. Still a very good character, all things considered. Not one of the best in the game, unfortunately. He was a little bit of a disappointing release. The same thing could be said for Goku and Frieza. They can look impressive, but right? Beast Gohan, we talked about him. Orange Piccolo can almost sort of be used right now. It's definitely going to be a little bit more tricky than it has been in years past to use that character. The 6 years still very, very good, right? Gogeta Blue can look okay. Trunks and Vegeta are coming up on the chopping block for an Easy A now, because, you know, Tanabata 2021 is Easy A'd, so now Tanabata 2022 is in our sight, right? Evo Ken, just okay, but when we come down to the TURs, I think this is where this team suffers the most. Not a ton of options here, right? Just like looking at it, like we just kind of start with this guy. Maybe when these two Super Easy A, we can start talking about it. Maybe UI Goku. Maybe this guy gets a Super Easy A. You know, we did have that thing from the exchange shop, from the Proof of Mastery Training in the Clouds event. Maybe potentially he gets a Super Easy A early for some reason. I don't know why they would do that, but it potentially could happen, I guess. So lots of interesting things about this team, but it's definitely not where it once was, but it's still one of the better teams in the game. I think it would be a disservice to say a team that's led by 2 Beast Gohans is just like not usable anymore. I definitely don't think that's the case. So you'd mix and match this with Miraculous Awakening as well as, Bond of Master and Disciple, and you would be able to kind of make a team out of this. So just wanted to at least mention that. Let's move on to the next team, which is going to be Battle of Fate. Now, looking at Battle of Fate, this is a very top-heavy roster, but it has a lot of really good characters on it, right? Beast Gohan, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Tech UI Goku, right? The Goku and Frieza, they're okay. They're a really good lead for a character that you can float off, given that they're a 220% lead. I think that's really good. Namek Goku being on this team, the LR Super Saiyan 4s, these two getting their Easy A, AGL UI Goku, right? 17 of Frieza can still look passable. Angel Vegeta is very good still, right? Looking at TU, Super Easy A Gohan is on this team. Just kind of looking down here, Kid Buu. This isn't really the best setup for Kid Buu. Yeah, there's definitely some more that we'll be talking about here in a little bit that are definitely a better setup for Kid Buu. But just looking at this team, Tech Cell, Beerus, Full Power Frieza, Kid Buu, There's a lot of really good characters on this team, and I think that having a 220% leader sort of automatically puts you in the running a little bit for being one of the best teams in the game, right? I'm not just gonna like completely exclude you off the list. So Battle of Fate, very good category. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be pure movie bosses. So I'm sure you guys are gonna know what's coming up very soon. I guess we can kind of tie these together. I'm gonna pop it up real quick, but movie bosses, you guys know, you go within Broly. You could run potentially like Slug or something like that, but this team is mainly going to be an uncontrollable power setup anyway. You could just run like a full Broly team. You could run an uncontrollable power version with Janembas on the team and stuff like that. Lots of really good options. This guy, really good, really good, really good, right? This guy's pretty good, right? Movie bosses is definitely in a decent spot right now. Super Easy A, Janemba, very good. Beerus, we talked about him, very good. This guy's okay. I'd say good, okay to good. So lots of good options for movie bosses, but this one kind of just ties back to you want to run more of an uncontrollable power setup because it's basically the same team, but you get access to characters like Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? You get access to characters like Boo, like this Tech Boo right here could potentially work. This Int Fat Boo could be ran on a team that's going to work out pretty well with uncontrollable power, right? Is Kid Boo on here? STR Kid Boo is on here, so you could run STR Kid Boo. You have access to Hirudegarn, who would be on movie bosses, but you get the idea, right? Buhan's on this team. You have Cell Max, who's chilling here. This team works very, very well, and running like a Broly-led setup for this is pretty cracked, right? Like, you just have a lot of really good characters. Buhan, Janemba, right? Buhan and Janemba are two of the best T-Wars in the game, period, right now. Buhan is just straight up stupid. The Int one, like, I don't know what they were thinking with this character in specific. He is just really, really insane. And being able to run him on almost any of these teams that we've been talking about, we're going to get into a few more of these here in a minute. But this guy, like, just makes these teams really, really dumb. So running Buhan on, like, basically Buhan, if he's on a team, you run it and you don't really look back, right? You're like, okay, Buhan's on this team, great. I don't need to think about anything else. We're good. Let's go, right? That's sort of how I feel about Buhan right now. So uncontrollable power / movie bosses kind of blends into one category here. Huge fan of how they made this team. Let's go ahead and move on, and the next team is going to be another power category, and that is going to be the demonic power led by Glorio setup. So this team here has two potential options the way you could go. You could go in a more extreme class focused version of this team, or you could go a more super class focused version of this team. So if you want to go super class, you have Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. All right, let me make sure you can see my mouse. You have Super Saiyan 2 Gohan over here. We have Glorio, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, like I said, Family Kamehameha, Beast Gohan, right? We kind of continue to go down. This Super Easy A for Gohan here is very nice. You do run into a little bit of an issue with that setup here, but the way that you kind of work around that, do I have that team pulled up? No, I don't. But the way you kind of work around it is with the Glorio leader skill here. If we go to accelerated battle, you can fit some more category or some characters on this team. So what can you do? You could run Glorio here, and then you run Vegito and Gogeta, right? Or Gogeta, Vegito, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, right? And that is basically what you do here with demonic power, right? So on this team with all the Gohans and stuff like that, you also have access to characters like Gogeta and Vegito. So that is pretty crazy, right? Beast Gohan, Gogeta, Vegito, Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, Glorio. And Glorio essentially acts as like a mini 250 with the support that he's constantly providing as a floater. So very, very solid team here. I love demonic power. The extreme class version of this team is also really fun, minus Glorio, or you could run Slug. So like, I'm going to say Glorio, but you could also do Slug. Buhan, right? The other Buhan that's down here. We talked about him a moment ago. Super Easy A, Int Buhan, wherever he may be, right? This guy's really, really good. STR Kid Boo, he's up here. Int Fat Boo, very, very solid setup. Then you also, with accelerated battle, not only are you getting access to that, you're getting access to characters like Janemba, right? Super Saiyan Goku right here. So there's just a lot of really good options for the Glorio lead, and I think that this category right now is just insane. So demonic power, accelerated battle, these teams are very, very silly, and it's fun to use them for sure. Let's move on to the next team here, which is going to be Kamehameha. You guys know how this team is basically ran, right? You run Gohan, then you run Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, you run Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you run Vegito, you run Gotenks, you could run the Super Saiyan Trio, you run the UI Gokus. When the 7 years Easy A here in a little bit, they will be able to be runnable as well. So tons of really good options on this team. Kamehameha is very, very silly. Just a really, really solid category right now, all things considered. I think the main downside to this team in specific is going to be the fact that it is lacking Gogeta. So if you want to run like a double STR Gohan team, again, you are going to be missing out on Gogeta. So the better way to sort of run this team is to put Vegito in the lead, so that way you get access to being able to run Gogeta on the team, right? It's always going to default back to that, where you can basically run this same exact team and add Tech Broly to it if you are running the Super Vegito-led setup. So that is always one thing to keep in mind, but again, I think it would be a disservice to say this is not one of the best teams in the game. Let's go ahead and move on, and that is going to be Transformation Boost. This team is led mainly by Buhan and Daimagoku. You can also count AGL Broly as well. Just a lot of solid characters on Transformation Boost, and one thing that I always like to harp on in specific for this setup when I do videos like this is just the different ways that you can run this team. This is a very versatile category that has multiple different ways of running it, right? We talk about like a super class version of this team or a Saiyan based version of this team where you have Tech UI, you have Physical Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, you have Super Saiyan 4 Goku, you have Int Broly, you have Tech Broly on this setup, right? These things are going to work out just fine. Or you can do a little bit more of an extreme setup where you're running like all the Boos, and then you're running like Int Fat Boo, you're putting Harudegarn on the setup if you want, you're putting STR Kid Boo, you're putting Super Easy A Buhan down here, right? You're running Int Janemba. There's just a lot of different ways to set this team up. Super, extreme, Saiyan, fusion, you know, like Universe Survival Saga. There's a lot of different ways that this team can be ran, and I think that's what makes it so good. And there's just access to a lot of good leaders, right? We're looking at this screenshot right here, or this image on the screen. We have 3 really good leaders, right? Broly is like tapered off a little bit, right? But he's still a very good character. Daimagoku is still very good. I think he's a little bit better when you're not running 2 of him, but he's still a very good character. And the same thing could be said for Buhan. So overall, really like this team. Transformation Boost is just always going to kind of be relatively solid in its placement, right? Just because of how versatile and how often you're going to be getting updates for this team. So Transformation Boost, definitely like it. Let's move on to the next one, which is going to be Majin Power. You guys, Majin Power is pretty straightforward, but I would say it's kind of a one-trick pony lineup. You're not really going to have a ton of wiggle room for the best characters on this team. You're going to want to run like this lead under like Tech Buhan or Physical Buhan, and then you want Tech Buhan, Int Fat Boo, STR Kid Boo, Tech Exchange Boo, right? Buhan right down here, and then things get a little bit tight, right? You got to start thinking outside the box in terms of like how you want to set this up, right? We're kind of waiting on a couple more Easy A's, maybe some Super Easy A's in the future, but the Super Easy A's for the Boo setup is kind of already like coming on, right? It's like, are we just waiting for like Int Kid Boo at this point? Because like Physical Kid Boo Super Easy A is just okay. So sort of what you want to do is go to this Buhan right here, right? And sort of run other things on his leader skill, where you add a Transformation Boost character or a Power Absorption character to this specific setup. It just makes things a little bit easier and team building a little bit more smooth of a process. So that is why you want to set it up like that. So Majin Power, very good team, a lot of fun, a lot of underrated characters on that setup. So I really like that team. Let's move on. And the next team that we're going to be talking about is Fused Fighters. Now, Fused Fighters has seen a huge glow up since the 10th anniversary and is only going to be getting better from here with the introduction of the 7-year LR Easy A's, allegedly, right? Very, very good chance that we do end up getting those, so just keep that in mind. But Gogeta, Vegito, Gotenks, right? These 7 years, STR Gogeta, Tech Gogeta, or STR Vegito, Tech Gogeta, right? This is going to be a really fun team, and then when you combine it with pure Saiyans and Earth Protecting Heroes or Successors, this is just going to be a really overall solid team, right? Something else that you could do, even if you don't want to run the LRs, like if we're not waiting on the Easy A's, something that we could talk about is going to be this version of Gogeta and this version of Vegito as well. Overall, Fused Fighters, this team goes hard, and I really like using it. So Fused Fighters, really good team, but again, it is a widespread leader skill with both of these 250s right here. So let's go ahead and move on to the last 3 teams here, or the last 2. And with these are going to be teams that I think are good, and then the last one we're going to save here is one that I think is going to be very good soon. So, Universe Survival Saga, you guys know, you kind of run like an Evolution Blue leader skill here. You got Goku and Frieza, you got Tech UI, you have the 6 years, you have Jiren, right? You have Topo, just a lot of really good characters. I think it could be a little bit better, and it definitely will be getting better pretty soon, in my opinion. Especially when they add like the Super Easy A for Int UI Goku, right? When we get some more Easy A's down the line. The thing with this team in specific, or like Universe Survival Saga, like the only Easy A we're really waiting on at this point, if I'm looking at this correctly, is like Kale and Caulifla and Goku and Hit. Like late 2021 is kind of like the last window for Easy A's for Universe Survival Saga. So like this team is decent. I wouldn't say it's one of like the absolute best right now, but I still just have a lot of fun and I have a soft spot for this team. So that's why I'm just tossing them on the list. I'd say it's probably the worst of the bunch that we've looked at so far. Just can fraud you out pretty easy, but I still like the team a lot. So I am being a little bit biased here. But with that being said, I still think the team has a ton of impressive feats that it can pull off, and I just like it in general. So Universe Survival Saga being a little bit biased, but let's go ahead and move on. And last but not least, we are going to be talking about power absorption. This is very similar to like the transformation boost team with Buhan here that I was talking about. Really got to combine the two, and overall, I think that you just have a very solid setup that is very fun to run. So last but not least for this video here, let's go ahead and talk about Giant Ape Power. Now, if you guys don't know, again, this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler for Daima here, so we'll do the same thing we did yesterday. 5 seconds here. If you don't want me to talk, if you don't want to hear anything about Daima, you know, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, all of that fun stuff. I'll see you after this. Much love, appreciate you, love you, bye-bye. So, with Daima, you guys know that with the reveal of the new Super Saiyan 4 form, this is going to be something that's going to further be supported in the game for sure, right? Because there's a good chance this is not just a one-off thing where Goku gets it, right? There's a good chance that we see Vegeta somehow unlock it, and then potentially them fusing, right? I don't think we're just done seeing that form overall, and it's just a Goku exclusive. So we're already talking about 2 characters right there, at least, who are going to be added to this team this year or next year, more than likely. Right? We think about Easy A's. This guy's about to get one right here. This Great Ape Vegeta. The GT Golden Weeks and in Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta are like, they get Easy A any day now, right? And we are just waiting for that to happen. This Super Saiyan 4 Goku, when that happens, is going to see an insane and immense buff, right? So I think this team has a lot of potential, and I'm excited to see where it goes. So there you guys have it. All of the best categories in the game right now as of February 19th, 2025. I hope you guys did enjoy. Like I said, like for people that left a moment ago, if you did enjoy today's video, do not forget to leave a like before you go. It is greatly appreciated and helps out the channel grow. You know, we've had a lot of support recently, so thank you guys so much for that. But make sure you do all those things down below. If you want to join the community Discord, click the link in the description and make sure you do that. We have a fun, active Dokkan community that can help you with any questions that you may have. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all in the next one.